topics, gon' be hard to top us. Headed to the top, can't stop us. It's the Carolina Wrestling Podcast. Carolina Wrestling Podcast. Carolina Wrestling Podcast. Carolina Wrestling Podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Carolina Wrestling Podcast. We are in studio after an eventful night last night and done. Reflections, Trey, how do you feel?
Man, it was a absolutely fantastic night last night in Dunn, North Carolina. We had a nice crowd out there, and 253 people was in attendance last night in Dunn, North Carolina. They really showed out for Next Level Pro Wrestling there.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. This might be my favorite show I've done since I've started with Next Level. Like it was crazy. It was a lot of fun. It's
actually one of my favorite shows since I've been in the wrestling business. If I want to be real about it, it was absolutely fun there.
And someone else who was also there that we were joined by in studio is new tag team champions Bootlegger Inc. Welcome to the studio, gentlemen.
Yes. How you doing, guys?
Feel like a beat mule. How you doing?
I'm doing a lot better than you guys are right now.
Why y'all keep saying show for? Did y'all see Can dancers? Did anybody do a magic trick?
An event.
It's
an event.
I
a display of athletics, even.
That's even better. Do what Chance said. Say that part.
Display. He. That's why he's the professor. He's got all the good words there.
What can I say? I try, man.
Event's easy for me there.
So we talked to you guys last time, and there was just the episode, just some audio issues and stuff like that. So now we have you back in studio. We talked to you fresh off the cusp of winning the tag team champions from Team Pitbull, and you were talking then about how you kind of feel like you didn't really get to have the moment because OG Tribe interrupted. So how does it feel after last night successfully defending the belts against OG Tribe? Do you feel like that chapter is kind of closed now?
I feel like there's a definite, there's a stamp on it right now that we've proven that we've earned some respect from people, that we deserve the respect, and the moment of us winning is what was important there, proving that we solidified ourselves as tag team champions. Like we've earned them, and we're going to keep them. As far as OG Tribe, they can take a minute if they want to try again. They're going to have to earn their way this time. We gave them that benefit of the doubt with what happened last night and done. So if they want another chance, they're going to have to earn it now. All right? Just like you got to earn our respect. Same way. Hard work. And that's what me and Buck's all about right there.
Yeah, that seems to be a reoccurring issue whenever people get a championship and then you get your chance to be a contender for the championship. You can't quite pull it out. You think you got to go right back into a rematch, and then you lose again. You got to go right back into a rematch, and you lose again. It's not how it works, guys. Once you prove that you don't have what it takes this time, you got to go back to the drawing board because your plan didn't work. So now we're moving on to other people.
So, yeah, let's talk about
those other people, yeah.
Yeah, so a video popped up last night after your hard-fought match, and you're celebrating your win against the OG Tribe last night. And so it looks like on March 15th in Lumberton, North Carolina, you guys are going to be defending your championships there in the main event against Kerry Morton and somebody who is definitely not shy from tag team competition, a 9-time NWA tag team champion in 2017 WWE Hall of Famer Ricky Morton.
Again, we didn't really get our moment at the end of that one.
I ain't even mad about this.
I'm not mad about it this time because this one feels like a little better than just some music hitting and a stare down after you just got your butt beat. You know what I mean? It's lights went out, video plays, and like, hey.
I thought we was having technical difficulties.
Yeah.
But I was wrong.
I mean, because last time we had technical difficulties. That was fun.
Happens.
So it was like, par for the course, whatever. That's our luck. And then I see that legendary mullet pop up. Yeah. Gave me chills. But that's definitely something to look forward to. Again, Ricky Morton, legendary. Half the reason, this is because we watch the tapes.
Oh, yeah.
We see, how did he get there? Take notes.
Absolutely.
And then his boy, Kerry. I'm not sleeping on Kerry. I keep up with NWA when I can.
Yeah.
Former junior heavyweight champion.
Yes, sir.
Just banger matches every time you look on it. accomplished tag wrestler himself. He's got the Southern Six, and they run up there at JCW a lot. And him and James Storm held the tag titles in JC. So like they're both of them different breeds of tag wrestling. You've got the old school, the new school, a little bit of everything. It's a challenge I'm looking forward to. That's how you test your mettle right there.
So knowing you guys are now the tag team champions, and that video pops up, and it sounds like they actually called out Bootleggers Inc. So you guys are on the radar of Ricky Morton and Kerry Morton, the Mortons there. Like, you guys are on that radar because they called you out. Like, how does that make you guys feel as the champions?
I mean, me and Travis been putting in the work, man. I mean, everybody sees it. I mean, we've been told that time and time again. So for somebody like Ricky Morton and Kerry Morton to call us out, man, I mean, just to say it's an honor to be selling it short, man. I mean, words can't even describe the way I feel about it personally. I mean, that's one of the guys my mama grew up watching, that she showed me when I was little, was Rock and Roll Express versus the Free Birds or the Midnight Express. And you got all these crazy matches from back in the day, and it's just, I mean, that's the way me and Travis try to run Bootleggers Inc, man, right along with Chris. I mean, if we got 3 men, we doing the Free Bird rule, but I mean, it's a blessing in disguise. I feel like we'll find out though once it gets here.
So go ahead and talk about, Chris, you have the third man here in Bootleggers Inc. What kind of advantage does it give to you against your opponents coming in when they don't know which 2 guys from Bootleggers Inc. are actually going to come out to the ring?
I mean, exactly that. They don't know. Look, if there's an established team of 2 guys, you can YouTube them, Facebook, whatever, and you can kind of see patterns in what they do. You can see how they work. The method and the madness. There's 3 of us. That's 1, 2, 3 different combinations.
I don't do math, bro.
Yeah, I didn't multiply
I
that
just
right,
punch
probably.
people in the face.
Yeah,
You're
that
probably
works
right,
too.
yeah.
See, he punches people in the face. I ain't never seen Chris throw a punch. So, are you ready to get punched in the face? Well, here comes Chris, and now you're going to get twisted up, and you don't know what's going to happen. It's that unpredictability. It throws in that X factor. Me and Chris can work without saying a word to each other. I ain't got to call nothing to him like, hey, man, we need to watch this. But it's almost telepathic. We know each man's next step. Me and Buck, I've been with him since he started. You know, we've got that bond of like everything he knows, I've thrown into it. Buck and Chris, I've seen them work once or twice. And unpredictable.
Yeah.
It's very unpredictable.
It's like roping a hurricane, bro.
Yeah.
It's one of those things, they can't tell your next move if you also do not know your next move.
Exactly.
Right?
We don't even know what's about to
If
happen.
I don't know what I'm doing, you don't know what I'm doing.
Just buckle up, Buttercup. It's going to be a wild ride.
So you were talking earlier and speaking to how, like, you know, Rock and Roll Express and the Mortons, you know, they were kind of like some of your inspirations growing up. What are some of your other inspirations? Like, when you think good tag team wrestling, like, who are some of the guys that y'all grew up watching, and like, you know, like, what does tag team wrestling in general kind of mean to you guys, I guess?
From far back, from day one that I enjoyed, had to be like the Gaijins. Stan Hansen and
All
Bruiser
Japan,
Brody.
yeah.
Bro.
Brody and Hansen,
Yeah.
Terry Gordy, Dr. Death, All Japan, Miracle Violence Connection. And if you watch me, you'll see me do some of the Terry Gordy, Dr. Death stuff. Growing up in the 90s in North Carolina, the Hardy Boys.
Definitely the Hardys.
Yeah. I mean, you see,
100%.
we hit them with a thump kick, big drop kick. Like, we're taking a page out their playbook and writing our name on the top of it.
That's our version of poetry in motion.
Yo, that spot last night was so cool.
Yeah, you like that, didn't you?
yeah, oh yeah, it was great because I wasn't expecting. I hadn't seen it before, and then you just come up, popping off of Travis's back there, and coming up with that big drop kick. That was amazing. Like, I loved it.
See, someone called me Big Back once, and I guess I better use my advantage as a platform.
There you go. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, we actually we talked to Baron Bullard yesterday on location. We were able to interview him, and he was speaking to kind of like taking moves that are established and kind of just adding your own twist to them, and that kind of felt like what that was last night. Because I was expecting, you know, again, the traditional kind of the Hardy Boys move, because that's what people were conditioned to believe, you know.
That was one of the guys that kind of talked us about, like, he influenced us to do that. Barron was one of the guys that helped us out with that. And I mean, I ain't trying to name drop, but the Dawsons were also some other guys that me and Travis talked to. We went to WrestleCade this past year, and we watched the whole Super Show. Was it Super Show or TNA?
TNA had I'm trying to remember the name of it, but they had a pay-per-view that was filmed on location at
Yeah, that was on Friday.
So
on the Friday night.
so
yeah.
we hung out with Zane the whole time, and he was helping us out with like match psychology and telling us ins and outs and stuff like
He
that.
was
And
pointing out stuff, and like we were saying, and like just you can watch something as a fan, which is, I mean, that's how we got here in the first place.
Right.
I wouldn't be doing this if I didn't love it. But when you watch it, knowing what you know, you can learn things, and it's especially whenever you've got someone who's been around and accomplished so much, like putting in their 2 cents and their experience while you're doing it. It's just, that was a great moment. I just had a good time.
Because the Dawsons have a lot that they can teach.
Oh, yeah.
You know, so
Yeah.
they're known all over, not just North Carolina. They're known all over the country.
Right.
You know, so getting a little bit of time with them, letting them, you know, rub your shoulder a little bit. You rubbing your shoulders against theirs a little bit. You know, it's a good thing for tag teams in North Carolina.
which, and truly, it doesn't really matter if it's the Dawsons or if it's the Pit Bulls or anybody. If you've got somebody that's been in this game as long as them guys have, I'm talking like 10, 15, 20 plus years, tag team wrestling or singles wrestling, it don't matter. You have to be an idiot not to sit there and listen to any advice that they have to give. Like, if they're willing to take the time out of their day, out of their schedule, and some of these guys aren't like indie guys. Some guys, you got like main card, big promotion people that's coming on these indie shows, and they've only got time to hit their match and they got to go.
Yeah.
But if they're taking 3 to 5 minutes just to help critique something that you can do, you need to sit down and listen to them, because it doesn't matter tag team or not. I mean, like I said, you'd be stupid to pass up the opportunity to learn something from anybody.
So y'all kind of spoke for a second, and we did talk about this last podcast, but I did kind of want to touch on it again. Like the year-long feud with Team Pitbull, right? I mean, because you guys obviously have learned a lot from them, and going into that, like, clearly, I mean, everyone involved was putting a lot into that program. How do you feel that it turned out, and like, what was the experience like? The culmination of it, right? Because I mean, you jumping off the cage, the place erupting, you know what I mean? Like, what was that like to kind of have created this full story with like some guys that you guys look up to?
I mean, for me, it was crazy. I feel like the roof could have been about 5 foot higher. That'd have been great. But I mean, aside from that, I mean, I think it ended just how it was supposed to.
It took a year in full, like, from what I'd say beginning to end. Because before losing the titles to the Pit Bulls last November, like, tangled with them once or twice. You know, they were just bumps in the road, you know, whatever, as far as the first tag title run. But then when they finally beat us, something about it just felt extra, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And then having to regroup, rebuild, having Cousin Chris just come out of nowhere and come back into the fold, being a blessing. I didn't know it could even happen. And just it just felt like everything was building us back up. We were tore down for a reason. We were building up for a reason. And it just, this is the end product. That feud, I want to say it made Bootleggers Inc. Before, we were like, oh yeah, these are the next level tag guys. Yeah, they wrestle there. They're the champions there, whatever. But that feud really cemented us as keep an eye on them. And with who we talked to last night, the eyes are on us. The Mortons saw us.
Absolutely, and not only the Mortons have their eyes set for your guys' tag team championships. We did see another team that made an appearance last night, and we have Mark James and Alex Evans, and Brutality Inc. did make their presence known at Next Level last night. So, how you guys feel about having those guys as competition coming up looking for you guys?
I said it before. It don't matter who they are, how big they are, how many of them they are. Bring them one at a time or bring them all at once. We know we got targets on our back. But like I said last night, these ain't our belts. See, me and Travis, We sons, we brothers, we grandsons, nephews, cousins. I'm a daddy. We protectors. And it's our job to protect these belts because they belong to the working class people. They belong to all the next level fans, not just us. We just holding on to them for them. So like I said, don't matter if it's Brutality Inc. It can be the Mortons. OG Tribe can try again. I don't care if you bring up FTR. It don't matter to me. Anybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely feels like the tag team division in Next Level is picking up. How do you guys feel like? Because I feel like we've kind of entered this like a period where like we're seeing more teams coming in from outside, you know, like, and so it seems like there's more competition. Like the pool's deeper than it's ever been. So like with that in mind, how do you feel like that's going to change how you have to kind of navigate some of this stuff? Because I mean, obviously last night you had the Mortons surprise you, so it's like just kind of having to keep that head on a swivel. Like, can you kind of speak to that for a minute?
I mean, I'm excited for it personally because I know in the battle royal we had last night, I'm trying to remember the name of the team, but they're boys out of PWF. August
Fears.
August Fears.
Yes.
And his partner Hendrix.
Yeah, Ricky Rush Hendrix.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen them work a couple times. They put in the work. I did not expect them to show up last night. All right, cool. Radical City Kings were there also.
Yes.
I've went against them before. Elbow dropped me right in my spine. That was a fun experience. They're tough customers. They've been around for a while. You don't be around for a while unless you know what you're doing.
That's right.
And I think, how many Allens were there?
Like 97 Allens was there.
Yeah, so about 1/3 of the Allens were there. So that's those boys all over the place.
They got family all over the place.
All over.
No. So there's a lot of teams that have not competed for Next Level, as far as my recollection serves me right, and they have not fought this. I welcome the challenge. You do not grow unless you are challenged. All right, and we're gonna keep growing. This ain't even really been a full year. This team of me and Buck. What was our first tag match? Like maybe April, May?
Yeah, something like that.
That's when we really started teaming as this. So we're still green as far as things are concerned. We need the challenge. I'm ready for the challenge. All right? We need to establish ourselves as a team to be reckoned with. Just because people talking about us, they need to experience us. And you don't get no experience without experience. And that's what we got here. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward. Bring them on.
So you talk about like the past year, how you've kind of been like honing your craft as like a tag team wrestler. How do you feel like you have to approach things differently in a tag team versus like singles wrestling? You know, like how do you kind of build that chemistry with somebody?
Well, singles. I don't do a lot of singles. I mean, like I've been a tag guy for the past 2 years. I've had a few singles matches. When you're in there by yourself, you're by yourself. As simple as it is. But whenever you've got your boy to look after and your boy's looking after you, it is a different animal. I mean, heck, we went to go to Hardee's before the show. And I mean, we ordered the same thing. Didn't even plan on it. I was like,
No.
what you getting? It's number 6. Oh, me too. It's like, some people who team don't experience life with the person they team with. Like, I mean, I've gone to his house, bonfires and stuff like so many times. Like, we got, March 22nd?
Yeah.
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 He got family. Good band called No Party. Like, we're already planning to go see their debut thing. You know, they're going to be playing a show down there in Wylde. We're talking to each other every day. Some teams don't do that. You have to, what's the word I'm looking for?
Have the camaraderie.
We train together and we hang together. There's a lot of people that just talk on the phone and cut a promo through a phone call together. But that's not tag team wrestling, bro. You got to be in the ring with your boy. If y'all not working on moves or working on ways to get out of moves or anything of that nature, you just two singles guys versus the bootleggers.
It's like the 80s. Like, hey guys, we gotta make this 8-hour car trip. You're stuck in that car together.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you're gonna form a bond. It ain't like that no more, you know. But hey, you ready to go to South Carolina this year?
I'm down.
So yeah.
Any doctor that wants to give us a physical, please reach out.
Anyone who's really good at forging signatures, also, we're first come, first serve.
That one. That sounds easier.
There you go. You can get the sign off from Dr. Pepper, and everything will be all good.
There you go.
You guys will be ready to go. So, I mean, it seems like stuff's picking up for you guys. I mean, obviously, you're tag team champions now. You're talking about like going over states and stuff like that. I mean, like, how's the wave been? You know, because I really feel like Bootleggers is one of the top properties in Next Level right now. I mean, I think like when you guys come out, like people know you. You know, it's not like just this like a small pocket of the crowd. Like you got like the whole place lighting up when you guys come out, and people like immediately gravitate towards you. So like, how's that been?
I don't know. It feels unreal sometimes. Like just going out there, the music hits, the crowd already pops off. Like, all right, they haven't even seen us yet. We went out with cousin Chris,
Mm-hmm.
and that was the opening thing of the event.
Open a
last night.
match, yeah.
And just all 200 plus going crazy, just walking out. Didn't even do nothing yet.
I mean, the first hit of that guitar when it goes out, and they already know who the Bootleggers Inc. is when they come out, and you guys just hold the crowd right in your hand like every time.
But the issue with that is you don't get to keep that unless you earn it. We're, like I say, we're putting in the work. It's not we're just going out there high-fiving people and enjoying the love. It's like you have to work for that, and you have to work even harder to keep it. And that's what we're doing. Like you saw things you've never seen us do.
Yep.
We have to keep doing that. We have to keep showing there's a reason people are talking about us. There's a reason they like us, and we're going to keep working on that. Because we're just, this is, like I say, since maybe May, this is just getting started. The wave's going to turn into a tsunami, give or take, sooner or later. That's the plan.
I want to extend this question to both of you guys and kind of give you like both an opportunity to speak on this. But as far as 2025 goes, like if you could just fantasy booking almost, you know what I mean? Like if you had like a dream opponent, like who's like a team that you guys have your eye on? Because, you know, we've talked about like a lot of teams have their eyes on you, but is there anyone that you guys are looking at?
See, we've had a couple discussions about this.
Mm-hmm.
For one, we talked about the JCW promotion up in, they run mostly what, Jersey?
Mm-hmm.
They have a top tag team called the Brothers of Funstruction. It's two clowns. And I've seen them work for NWA before. Like they're making the rounds.
Let me ask you a question. You say JCW, is that Juggalo Championship Wrestling?
Yes.
Yes.
Is that okay? I just wanted to clarify. I just want to make
Mhm.
sure.
I mean,
Yeah, there is confusion. There is another one, I think.
Yeah, there's a Jersey champion.
We ain't talking about that.
Yeah, but Juggalo Championship Wrestling. See, say what you will about them. They've upped their game as a promotion. Like they've got a YouTube show every week
Every
now,
week.
and it's one of my favorite things. It reminds me of, it's like what if 80s NWA was on MTV.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because you get
Okay.
what you see. It's like, here comes the big name versus a local talent, whatever, and then it builds up to the main event is two established guys going at it. It's like, it just looks like old Jim Crockett NWA on the Saturday night, you know, and it's just a modern extreme crazy version of it. And that fits us to a T, like on a personal level. But Brothers of Funstruction is a one of their top teams up there, and we like their vibe. I think we'd have some fun with them. I think it'd be a good showing. And anyone you think in particular other than them? Because that's the one we've been talking about most lately.
Yeah, FTR.
FTR. That seems to be the,
Me and Dax Harwood's from the same county.
yeah.
Our schools are rivals.
All right, so that's
Ooh,
personal.
So you just
See, there's a built-in story then, you know, like already. Like local Carolina guys. I mean,
Yeah, exactly. Same county and everything.
I mean, yeah, that's a rivalry from way back at that point.
Right.
You know?
Like, we weren't in school at the same time, but all my boys went to school with him over in Wylde. I went to East Columbus. We was in the swamp. They had sidewalks. It was all nice and stuff over there. We had to tread mud to get to school, but that's probably why our football team was better.
Oh, see, I feel like the challenge being laid down right now, so like, hopefully, they'll do some circulation and they'll get back to them. But I got to unpack the JCW thing for a second. Like, I just want to circle back. Is this something that we're going to see the bootleggers, I'm familiar with the promotion, is with it being Juggalo Championship Wrestling, is everyone involved, like, got like a clown thing going on? Are we going to see like bootleggers don the attire, or is it going to be just the bootleggers?
There's no telling what the bootleggers might end up doing. I mean, we both work a haunted trail during October.
And that thing's awesome.
Yeah, Trey Morgan went.
Sure
Trey
did.
Morgan and his wife went.
I sure
Shout
did.
out
It
to
was
Nightmares Haunted Trail
great.
and say the name of the town because I screw it up every time.
It's Nakina, North
I'm gonna
Carolina.
say Nakina.
Yeah, you say it how GPS says it. They're wrong too.
But
Sorry.
the GPS lied to me.
But yeah, no, there's honestly no telling how we might show up. We might show up in clown paint. We might show up in war paint. We might just show up like we normally do. But not everybody in JCW's clowns. You got a lot of people. Colt Cabana is a part of
does
it.
a cop.
He's a cop.
Yeah, he does his cop character up there.
And Caleb Conley, I believe, might be.
He's their
in
United
there. He's
States
one of their
champion
champions.
right now.
Yeah.
He's the inaugural United States champion.
All of the canes that are not the red one.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Reoccurring up there.
All of those.
All of the
James-
canes.
James Ellsworth is the ultimate Ellsworth up there. He's comes in, body presses, splash every time. Like
Oh, wow.
It's like I said, first match is gonna be something stupid. Like, all right, this is on par, and then the next match is, we're gonna have a team you've never heard of from New Jersey take on Kerry Morton and James Storm. They're gonna put on a 20-minute tag classic out of nowhere, and like that's people juggalos. Like that's a taboo term. Whatever you have your preconceived notions. They're a up and coming independent. They're taking it seriously now, and it is a great show up there. I'm interested.
Well, I absolutely want to see you guys up there at some point. That sounds like it's going to be awesome to see how the bootleggers would navigate that world that y'all have described to me just now.
I want that Tracy Smothers heat whenever he worked up there.
Definitely check it out. It's great.
So you mentioned your haunted trail that y'all work at. So is it just, do you work at it, or do both of you guys do it, or how's it?
Travis came on year before last.
Yeah, year before last.
And started, like, when we first started hanging out doing the bootleggers thing, I was like, hey man, we need help. I could pay you. And he was like, all right, I'll be there. So he come out, started working with us, and didn't get to come this past year because he was booked so much, but we're going to try to work a little bit around getting us out there more this year. But I manage it. It's my cousin, well, my wife's cousin's the owner, him and his mom. They've had it since he was, I want to say since he was like 15 when they first started. So this year's going to be like 16 years that it's been running or something like that. I'm probably wrong. Don't quote me on that. But yeah, dude, I mean, we got it's one of the biggest spots in Columbus County. There's people from all over that come to it. We've got celebrity guests come out every couple of years. I've hung out with Bill Mosley, Otis Driftwood from House of a Thousand Corpses.
Oh,
Devils
wow.
Rejects. He was Chop Top and Leatherface. I've hung out with Richard Brake, which was in.
He was in a lot.
He
of
was
the
in
Rob
a
Zombie
lot of
films.
Rob Zombie stuff.
He's one of Rob
31,
Zombie's go-tos.
3 from Hell.
He was in the Doom movie from like
He was in
2003.
Doom. He's the king from Game of Thrones.
Oh yeah, he's the White Walker.
the
What's his
king.
name?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Hung out with him.
How do we forget that? Little
That is so
cherry?
cool.
One of the Leatherfaces, Butch Patrick, which was Eddie Munster. He even brought out the car. We're working on some stuff for this year. Hopefully it pans out. But there's a big, like, early 2000s MTV celebrity that we're trying to get a hold of for this year. That's as much as I'm going to go into it right now.
But just to let you know, just give my little stamp of approval on it. I went out there last year with me and my wife, and we just had an absolutely amazing time.
And I made sure you had to change your pants by the time you left.
Stuff pops out of nowhere that you're not expecting. So
I'm stuff. It's me.
He's stuffed. Like I don't know, you'll just be walking through and you look up and he's up top of a tree. and then you'll be walking again, and like he's under a car somewhere, and then you'll walk around somewhere, and he's just popping out of a house, out of a window. So it's never know. It's a great time if when Halloween comes around they do the haunted trail. I highly recommend going out there. I had a great time, and I'm gonna go again this year.
Yeah, that requires a lot of athleticism to be getting to all the different hiding spots, like on your cues and stuff. Like, I mean,
I have no cues. I just pick somebody. I'm like, that's my guy. I'm gonna follow them the whole time they're in here. And I'm like one of the line actors, so I start off in the line, and if I find somebody that I'm bothering, I just stick to them. I find a sore and I just pick at it till it festers, and then by the end of the night, we're either buddies or they hate me and want to fight me. But I'm fine either way.
And they have actors all over the thing as you're going through there, so you don't know who you're going to run into. They got a bunch of different houses that you just walk in. Oh, you're walking through this house. You turn a corner, and you got a family with little kids that are walking around evil and dead and everything.
What did it take y'all, about 45 minutes to an hour?
Yeah, 45 minutes to an hour for what? I think it was like, what, $10, $15, something like that to get in.
And that's just the one trail.
Yeah.
We got a blackout maze, too.
And that was cool. And that was cool as heck, too. Like, completely black going through a maze. You can't see where you're going. It's all by feel. And I highly recommend it, so I had a good time. I highly, highly recommend it.
Hearing you speak on it for a second, it almost kind of feels like a match made in heaven, because it's like the psychology of like working the crowd. It's like it's all there, It's like it's all. I mean, people say people have said it before, but it's like everything's wrestling in a way, And like
Basically.
that's But like with that, I mean, so clearly you're a big horror fan, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like, just for the people at home, I'm kind of curious, like what your top 5 horror movies would be.
Definitely anything with Rob Zombie's name attached to it.
House of a Thousand Corpses.
I don't really. You could just throw anything with Rob Zombie at the top of it, and I'll watch it back to back. Any of the Evil Deads is great.
Yeah,
I
great
mean, they're
pick.
campy, but I love Sam Raimi's style of production and the way he does his what do they call them, effects and stuff.
Yeah,
I just like that old school, like Jim Henson puppet string type stuff. And probably I could watch any of the Leatherface franchise too. That kind of was a lot of movies.
Yeah. Let's not get into the history of Leatherface. It started off great, then it got weird.
Yeah, I'm fine with weird.
Yeah, that kind of seems like it's almost like the Halloween effect, where like you make 2 really good movies, and then you want to make movies that have nothing to do with the character that like got you to the dance. It's kind of
Yeah. Like
How'd you-
Halloween 3, I think it was.
How'd you feel about the Rob Zombie Halloween movies?
I liked them for the simple fact they had I think we were talking about it in here earlier before the show, but I can't remember his name. There's a guy that played Opie in Sons of Anarchy, and I think he was Beta in Walking Dead, but he played Michael Myers. I like him as an actor. I just enjoyed. A lot of people hated it, and then the guy that what's the other guy's name? Loomis.
The old British guy.
Yeah, Dr. Loomis.
I know him. I just don't know his name. He's in like everything. He's in a lot
It's
of.
not
Rob
Anthony Hopkins, is it?
No, he's like skinny Anthony Hopkins.
Either way.
Yeah, he's in a lot of Rob Zombie stuff too.
I enjoyed the actors, and then the kid that was in it done good, because he was the kid that was in Hancock that got like just chunked into outer space. I like seeing him as like a different, because that just showed he's got range, because he was this one bully in this one movie to the little boy, and then he's a psychopath in the other movie, and you get to see him go from just like a kid that's growing up in like a mentally abusive home, I would say, and you just see him go through until he hits his breaking point, and then he ends up getting taken to the psychiatric hospital, and then he goes through like, it's like he goes back and reverts again and goes through all the spots again, because he thinks he's going to get better. He thinks he's going home. Then he comes to the realization he's not getting out of here. Then he just goes dormant, doesn't talk to anybody. And the only person he's got to take care of him and his buddies with is Danny Trejo. And who wouldn't want to be buddies with Danny Trejo?
Right.
That is perfect.
But then he smashes him with a TV, so.
Well,
I guess he doesn't want to be buddies with Danny Trejo.
as it goes, right?
All right, guys, so I got one more question for you before we start wrapping everything up here. You you guys being tag teams, I know you guys watch a lot of matches, a lot of footage and stuff like that. Do y'all have 2 or 3 matches that you always like to go back to that you recommend people to watch? So it's maybe something that you enjoy as a fan, or what matches would you recommend somebody just look up and watch to enjoy some really good tag team wrestling?
Nothing specific, but like we say, anything from the 80s, if there's a tag team whose last name is Express, that's going to be a good one. Like, that's just, from both aspects of it, just, it's the Express versus Express feuds of the 80s. Everyone had to be an Express. It's like everyone nowadays is an Inc.
Everybody got there faster back in the 80s, but now we're all about business.
Yeah. But,
That's a good way to put it. I ain't never think about it like that.
Is it safe to say you guys would have been Bootleggers Express in the 80s?
God.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah.
I know what we're going to do in March, and you're going to hate it.
Oh, Lord.
If I had to say, go back and watch the entire FTR and Briscoes feud.
That's cheating. Anything with Briscoes is cheating. You know that.
Shut up.
It was a great feud.
The entire feud, especially capping it off with the dog collar match.
The trilogy, all 3 of those matches are absolutely bangers.
Like you said, as a fan, if all of wrestling got destroyed today except for those 3 matches, I'm good. I could watch them over and over again and find something new in every one that I didn't see before. So,
yeah, I've actually seen you with the Briscoes belt. Like, you want to speak to a minute just about like maybe how the Briscoes specifically have influenced your tag style?
dude, I don't know, man. I seen like when I first seen them, it was like seeing like people that I grew up with, like people that I'm related to. Like that's how they talk, how they conduct themselves. That's how people around where I'm from are. And when I met them right before Jay passed away, and it's like I told them, the only difference between y'all and us is y'all raise chickens, we raise hogs. That's it. But I mean, they're just down to earth, humble guys. Stood there and talked to me, which is crazy because when I met them, it was like I was standing there with my wife, and she's like, "We need to go down this aisle." And we was trying to go somewhere. I think she had tickets to go meet Saraya or something like that. And we were standing there waiting in line to go to meet Saraya. And she's like, "Well, I'm gonna just get this picture." She's like, "You need to go over there down that aisle." And I was like, "No." I was like, "I'm gonna stay here with you." She's like, "No." She's like, "You need to go down to the end of that aisle." And when I walked down there, Mark and Jay was sitting down there just chilling. Nobody was at their table.
Wow.
They was just hanging out.
That's crazy.
I sat down there and talked to them for like 20 minutes. And I kept trying to go, but Jay's like, no, man, come hang out a minute. He's like, you got somewhere to be? I was like, no, I ain't got nowhere to be. He's like, well, just sit here and hang out for a minute. And we talked for probably about 30 good minutes. We sat there and talked, got a picture with them, got stuff signed by them and stuff like that. But that's just when I seen them first, I think it was, I think one of the first matches I seen was Jay and Kevin Steen in Ring of Honor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that, when I found that match because it was Kevin Owens, and I was trying to find his old stuff. And then I seen that one with Jay, and it just snowball effect.
So you meeting Jay Briscoe, and we know that he's no longer here with us. You sitting there talking to him, is there anything in particular that he told you about the wrestling business that you will hold forever?
Well, see, that's the thing, because when I met him as a fan. I wasn't even a worker.
Oh, so
I wasn't even
y'all
training.
weren't talking business.
Wasn't doing anything.
Yeah.
I didn't get into wrestling till I decided that I wanted to try to wrestle while I was on Facebook. I was watching Jay's funeral on Facebook, and I was just scrolling, and a picture from CC Young had posted a picture that she was wrestling. And I was just like, shot in the dark. I'm like, what are you doing? How'd you do this? Where'd you come? Because me and CC's from the same area.
Oh, okay.
And she was like, it's in Fayetteville. Because I figured, everybody around here, you grow up, you go to college. She went to ECU. I didn't know where she was now. It's like, you go to college, you move away, you don't come back home. Well, she was like, I'm in Fayetteville. I'm like, that's not far from home. So she's like, come check out this place right here. She's like, just show up on Sunday. She was like, talk to either wise Joseph or Tony, because this was way back before Joseph Everhart got injured and was out for a while. She's like, just talk to Joseph or Tony. She's like, and you can start training out here. So it was actually more or less Jay Briscoe's death that pushed me over the edge, and then seeing, I tell everybody I contributed to CC or I wouldn't be here. But those are the two deciding factors that put me where I'm at.
Wow, that's like an insane story, honestly. But it's like it's incredibly full circle that now you've gone into the business and now you found yourself in a tag team. And honestly, you guys are kind of embodying some of the spirit that the Briscoes had, you know, like coming out. So like, I mean, that's like a really cool like thing. Yeah.
Yeah, my whole life's kind of crazy, man. It should be a movie.
I feel like it could be.
Just and we're on the PG side of it right now.
Just get Netflix. That way it's a series that goes on too long.
Right. Call Netflix, Trey Morgan.
So one more fun one before we wrap stuff up. You have interest in horror. You have interest in wrestling. Obviously, you have the Bootleggers right now. Has it ever crossed your mind, you know, like some sort of horror themed like version of yourselves as wrestlers? Have you ever considered, you know, like, I mean, you know, you look at your Bray Wyatts or like, you know, now the Wyatt Six. I mean, has that ever crossed your mind, or do you feel like more so you'd be comfortable just being yourself?
That's kind of like when I came back from my hiatus in 2022. The Wrecker, like nickname, I threw that on for like 5 reasons. 1, Wrecker Weaver alliteration. I have a tow truck. But there's a video game I play a lot called Dead by Daylight, and all the killers are called the something. Like Freddy Krueger's the Nightmare, Michael Myers is the Shape, you know. And so I was like, oh, the Wrecker, because I was gonna pick up kind of where I left off and then just play with things and see, can I start to get more this, that. So that was part of the original idea when I came back, to slowly transform into like horror. And then I got put in a tag team called Blood and Rust, where like we were just Texas Chainsaw guys for a little bit. But also at the same time, Bootleggers started to form over here. So like this branch of Blood and Rust died off, and it's still dying a slow, painful death. No. But Bootleggers doing good. So I toyed with it, and I played with it, but I don't want to play with that fire and get burnt. Trust me, it's came close.
Don't be scared of the fire, brother. It can warm you up, or it can burn you, like you said. But you know, Next Level's got this clown. He runs around in a mini skirt or a tutu or whatever it is.
Oh, yeah.
Next Level, what's his name, Trey?
Chuckles.
Is it Chuckles?
Chuckles the clown.
That's the name?
That's it, yeah.
So you seen me at the Haunted Trail.
Yeah.
I think I'm already ring ready.
And you know, I still got a picture on my phone. I actually might post that
you
picture.
Should put that on this.
Yeah,
I got
that picture. We can get that put on there. Absolutely.
Yeah. So send that picture to the Chuckles clown guy and see what the deal is, because I know you got your workings. Talk to Commissioner Genovese, see if we can make that happen.
We can make that happen.
Like almost like clown paint versus clown paint kind of thing, you know, like mask versus mask, but just
hey, I like that.
Well, gentlemen, thank you so much for your time. Obviously, the Next Level Tag Champions, y'all are busy, y'all got stuff to do, you know, so we appreciate you coming out, especially after a show. You know, I know everyone's a little tired, so we appreciate
event we've established this.
Yeah, I thought it was an event,
an athletic display or whatever it was I said earlier. My bad.
I like that one better.
But no, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for being here. We were here today with the Record Travis Weaver and the Blue Collar Brawler Buck Wylde, Bootleggers Inc, the Next Level Pro Wrestling Tag Team Champions. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being here with us on this episode of the podcast. Make sure you follow us on all of our social media. Check us out on YouTube, on Facebook, especially on TikTok. Check us out there because we post everything there. We're on X and we're on Instagram as well. So make sure you see us anywhere on all of our social media. What you got?
Also, y'all social media.
Yeah.
Before we end
Sorry.
this, where can they find the Haunted Trail? Where can they find Bootleggers? Where can they find all this stuff?
So you can find the Haunted Trail at Nightmares Haunted Trail on Facebook. You can find me on Facebook at Buck Wylde.
You got 2 of them, so make sure you go for the one that's got a picture of him.
Get the one with a picture, because for some reason when I made one, it's a long story. Just go for the one with the picture of me.
Yeah,
not the one with the logo?
Not the one with the logo.
It's a picture of him with a giant welt on his back from where Baron broke that kendo stick 3 months ago.
I can guarantee you that the real page will always have a picture of me, not a logo. I'm on Instagram. It's Buck_N_Wylde. Travis, He and I collaborate on the Bootleggers Inc. page on Facebook.
It's gonna have this logo.
It's got this logo on it. And then Travis has got his own things.
Yeah, Travis the Wrecker Weaver on Facebook. It's got the little parentheses things at the top, so it's hard to find because I'm stupid and I didn't know how to make a Facebook page when I started this, and I had to make fans change it now. And then Wrecker Weaver on Instagram, just like one word. I post weird gym selfies and occasionally stupid stuff. So
They're very weird gym selfies.
I do them weird on purpose.
Sure you do.
Chance,
Weird guy.
you got anything else, Chance?
No, I'm happy, man. Thank y'all so much once again. And yeah, this has been the Carolina Wrestling Podcast. So yeah, thanks for coming out. Thanks for listening.
Yeah, thanks for being here. Ladies and gentlemen, just want to make sure that you come out to Lumberton, North Carolina, March 15th. We're going to make sure that Next Level Pro Wrestling is going to be there. And we do have there, in the main event of that show, we're going to have the Mortons versus the guys in our studio today, the Next Level Pro Wrestling Tag Team Champions, Bootleggers Inc. So make sure that we see you there in Lumberton on the 15th. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being here with the Pro Wrestling, the Carolina Wrestling Podcast. We love each and every one of you. We'll see you on the next one.
Tune in when they lock up. Turn the lights on. Time to watch us. With these topics, gon' be hard to top us. Headed to the top, can't stop us. It's the Carolina Wrestling Podcast. Carolina Wrestling Podcast. Carolina Wrestling Podcast. Carolina Wrestling Podcast. It's that guy, Trey Morgan and Freddie Attack. You can't ignore them. And Chance Jenkins, no chance for boredom. Get the table, the mics, now bring the boards in. We talking next level, that mean the best ever. Pro wrestling, it don't get no better. We talking 2-6 Wrestling Academy, and the rest of the scene around here that's grown radically around the Carolinas. Ain't hard to find us. New episode drops, watch twice and rewind it. Go and share it with your friends. Just remind them, and every time you see us, it's perfect time. What you looking for? If it's wrestling, we got it. No cap. Autographs in Carolina, what you looking for? If it's wrestling, we got it. No cap. Autographs in Carolina. Tune in when they lock up. Turn the lights on. Time to watch us. With these topics, gon' be hard to top us. Headed to the top, can't stop us. It's the Carolina Wrestling Podcast.